Hey everybody, how you all doing? Did that really happen? Did that really happen just there? We won. We won by 31 points in the end. To be honest with you, I think I'm still in shock. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we can give a bit of a sigh of relief tonight as the Blues get the job done. It was a response. It was a fantastic response. Obviously tailored off a little bit towards the end, but I think the game was certainly done and dusted by that point. So it's the Blues. 18-4, 112 to the Saints, 12-9, 81. It was actually, I'm reading a stat. I haven't confirmed it yet, but it was the greatest and most accurate Carlton score of all time in our club's history. So that's fascinating. So anyway, welcome to the fan cams. It's going to be a bit of a party tonight. I'm excited. It's good. It's good to be talking after a win. It's been a big week. A lot has happened. It's been a big day. We've been hit with bombs on field, off field. Before I do begin, we're going to obviously get as many people in as we can. But before I come in, Charlie Curnow, he sent through a video. He just wanted to send a message to everybody who said that he shouldn't have been playing. Anyway, just having a bit of fun with that. All right, welcome to the fan cams. I'm going to get some people in right now. This will be fun. Let's start with the main man on the watch along, and that would be Mr. Pommy and Oz. Mr. Pommy and Oz.
Viva Cano! Viva Cano! Running down the wing, hear the Blues sing. Viva Cano! Tell you what, how fucking good is that, baby?
Oh my gosh, mate. I don't know who had it harder, mate. I don't know who had it harder, the Saints or Pommy, because you were getting nothing from Mr. Cardman.
Tell you what, Cardman, fucking, he's got his name, hasn't he? He's got freaking a poker face. I'll give him that.
He does. He kept a real straight back. How'd you go, mate? What'd you think?
Mate, I mean, 1.4 kick to handball ratio, the best all year. Amazing what happens when you pick a team of proper footballers. You know what I mean? Josh Honey, my boy, taking the piss with a goal assist. I mean, was that Josh Honey or was that Gary Abler? I don't know. We need to have it confirmed. But 3 goal assists from the freaking little maestro, 2 goals, 1. And for me, I think what is important, let's not get carried away, right? It's a win, right?
Yeah.
But seeing players like O'Brien lead goal assists and being allowed to be in natural open field, kicking short, last week we talked it was the longest counted kick per possession. This week, it was the shortest we've kicked per possession. Higher tackle numbers, our tackle efficiency off the charts. Again, another season best. All caused by being short kicking, and that makes you in position when you do turn the ball over. That was phenomenal. The clearance work, being outnumbered in the ruck. Phenomenal. They played a man up to the ball. You saw Josh Honey drop defensive and came back. And Tom Williamson went forward from them starting possessions, giving us effectively 1 or 2 more people in around the ball. That was an aggressive game plan. That is, for me, Teague's found the method, maybe a little too late, but that is how you do it. For the first time ever, we've written a scouting report, and you've done what we said.
Yeah, I think... For me, I mean, that first half was something else. And it's not to say that we weren't challenged, particularly in that first quarter. Max King got off the leash a little bit. It was pretty tight and contested. But when I looked at halftime and I saw 52 tackles in the half, that's what told me this is why we get so passionate. This is why we get so mad, because we know they've got it in them. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of where was this last week, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, you can only front up week to week. You're going to have disappointing moments along the way. There's going to be big disappointments along the way. And it was important for them to respond. And I don't know about you, mate. I saw a real serious outfit there tonight. They weren't willing to celebrate too hard too early.
I saw a team. The last quarter kind of got away from us. But I mean, they came hard. But what we did really efficiently with them was we took the game. We talked about pressure. Whoever shows the most pressure will win this game. Both of these sides are carbon copies of each other of how they want to play. And I thought what was really underrated, and I know I'm a big fan of the guy, Charlie Curnow's work oscillating around centre-half forward. Every entry you saw, he was in and around it. His ability looked fantastic because it freed them openness for him. It really opened the game up for Harry. And how many times was Harry only having to deal with one or two players this time?
Yeah.
And that makes his life a lot easier. But
that's the thing. I think when you've got how many times I can think of 3 off the top of my head, 3 instances where Lockie O'Brien is hitting Harry Mackay on a lead. It was great.
Oh, and that's what Lockie O'Brien can do in open space. So you see, when they play that more aggressive game style, they have more people in that midfield, they pull them back. It opens that freedom up for the wings. And you actually saw what happened today with Lockie O'Brien, who's a natural wing, how important that is to the game style. Lockie O'Brien isn't an elite level ruckman, but that's what happens when you get these guys into open space. You get them into open field. Doesn't matter how good a kick you are, you'll do that. And Lockie showed today that he's good. If they can repeat that, they might have found something today. They might have found something.
I agree. I think there it is. There's the effort, because we've been there's effort and then there's that willingness to hunt. It was there tonight. They had it up. They were up against it. Tom De Koning misses 3 quarters. We have Jack Silvani rucking for 3 quarters. Now, that's probably not something that's sustainable week on, week out, month after month, year after year, obviously. So we're going to have to figure out something there. But when we get into them and we're disappointed in them, it's for a reason. And when they perform like that, you've just got to look satisfied. Now, of course, where was Honey all along? Where was Lockie O'Brien all along? Where was this effort last week? I get it. But it's all about the right now. And, the reality is, you're right. Can we find something in this, finish the season strongly, and build for the future?
Well, I mean, what you saw tonight isn't down to players trying harder or anything. It's down to literally what I've been saying from the start of the season. It looked like Teague was going to play this way because it reminded me of St Kilda in the preseason. Short, sharp ball movement. It keeps you together in transition. It keeps you together in offense, moving players up. That's why we got excited about Will Setterfield's role off halfback, that he kind of, when we were in contested situations, he moved up almost an extra midfielder and then dropped behind the ball. You saw Willow do that today. He was incredible. Looking at the stats here, an incredible 6 intercepts resulted in scores involving Tom Williamson. Now, that is phenomenal. That is Tom Stewart-esque. That's Tom Stewart-type numbers. That's what he does. Roams around the ball, and he has a bit of a freedom. I thought Jesus as well, you saw something for me that is very exciting. Oh. Having a pressure-based midfielder, because he couldn't ruck. He basically stood in the ruck and then acted as a midfielder. How many times he laid that pressure? That is what you saw as well there. How Carlton lack an elite pressure midfielder. And you've stumbled across by accident today Carlton's perfect game plan. Now, whether this was a flash in the pan, whether Teague has maybe dropped the arrogance and said, this is how we're going to play. We are now going to play shorter, sharper, and really attack the game. But all we can do is judge it on that. Absolutely brilliant. I thought moving a player from the forward line to protect the midfield and then to move a player from the back line to help the midfield paid dividends all day. And it puts you in position to tackle. It puts you in position, more importantly, to control the footy through the corridor, which we did. and it gives you an extra man in the corridor. Carlton protected that left-hand side of the ground up until the fourth as well. So beautifully. That's where Tom Williamson was living. It was almost like he knew where to live. Absolutely brilliant. And for me there, Jesus as well, he's a midfielder. He's a midfielder. Like when we get a ruckman, two ruckman, play it. Play him in the midfield. Play him in the midfield because he's a brilliant, brilliant type player there. I'm very impressed with him and I'm enjoying it.
It's good, mate. It's good to see you smiling. It's good to see all of us smiling. There's this feeling of, I'm going to be honest, I said it in the preview, I was petrified of what this Friday night was going to be. I didn't know. I thought they had put the queue in the rack for the season because of how they played last week. I thought that the pressure externally was getting to them. And to hear Harry talk about how the review last week was player-driven and whatnot, and you know, there's for the first time in a long time, we can actually enjoy a win because we play on a Friday night and we can enjoy a win all weekend, you know, and it's going to be good.
I'm just happy to watch a game where I haven't watched and gone, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like that game was won how every game in the history of sport has been won. Preparation, knowing what your side is against, what you're good at and playing it. And they stuck to it. And it makes me ask more questions when you win like that. Why haven't you been that bold? Because to me, finals is a pipe dream now. It's very hard to do. You won last week, though. We're now in the 8, and we're half a game ahead. And I know you shouldn't think about that, but that is what this club should think about. Last week was the week that you gave it everything. You were under the cosh. That was the week you moved players into the midfield and control the corridor. Not this week, but fantastic. I mean, also, let's just talk about Charlie, baby.
He's one of our own.
One step, 2 years out, taking the piss he is.
He was.
Tell you what, he's back. The Kern dog is back. Life is good. I don't give a fuck about 2021. It can do one because the Colonel's back, baby. The Colonel's back.
Love it, mate. Love it. I'm going to leave you there. It was good to have you on the stream. Well done tonight, and we'll definitely speak to you soon.
Love you, boys. Love you, girls. Thank you very much for sticking around. See you next week. Colonel's back.
He's unbelievable, the Pom. We love him. We absolutely love him. All right, I've got a full room at the moment. I will post the link afterwards. Ulgur with the 10 says, Silvani, great game. Walsh, outstanding game. Harry could have kicked 8. Pressure was outstanding by all. Yes, these are great things to be talking about. Absolutely great things to be talking about. I think there was one further up from Michael McDonald, but it's so far up now I can't see it. Michael, I'll get to that as soon as I can. Let's get Kira. Oh, Blue Abroad merchandise on. Kira, what's happening?
Of course. So, I have no words, Terry. What just happened?
Did that really happen? Like, I'm a little bit surprised.
At halftime, I was like, how do I act? What do I do? I'm not stressed. I genuinely didn't know what to do with myself at halftime because I wasn't going into an anxiety attack.
It was weird, right? It was like we've been conditioned to be angry. And so it was like, can I feel good or do I wait? And then there was like a flicker, I think, in that fourth where it was like, uh-oh, but we made it. Hello, friend.
Go away. I was worried. That's why I was still stressed at halftime because I was like, this could go anywhere. But I'm just so, so proud. And Jack, I was really worried when DeConning went down, but Jack is just beautiful. I'm a mess because I just can't believe it.
Yeah. Talk to me about your reaction when Charlie kicked that goal.
Oh, I screamed a lot. And my dad was like, what's the matter? What's the matter? I'm like, Charlie kicked a goal. I didn't care if he didn't kick a goal today. I was like, just get through unscathed. But that goal, he's got power in his leg. I was worried it would have gone away a bit, but gosh, he was far away from the goals. That was good.
Yeah. There were a few moments where he went up for some contests and I vomited in my mouth. Just, you get that fear. There was actually one where I think Ed went up for a mark, but I thought it was Charlie, and he landed a little awkwardly on his knee, and I'm like, oh my God, but then figured out it was Ed. Look, the spark is there. He's got a little bit of something there. It's just a matter of, he's going to have to look. It's massive that he got through for us. It's massive.
Massive. And he had ice on his knee afterwards, but they said it's nothing to worry about, just recovery, make sure he's pulls up all right. So he was good. He got through unscathed with a goal, so that will be good for his confidence.
Absolutely. We have a 8-day break. We play on Saturday next week, so hopefully he'll be rested and hopefully he can back it up. That's really the main thing with him. It's how is he going to be able to back up from the game, and we just keep going. I think it's literally a week-by-week thing. We cannot get sucked into looking ahead. But for me, I don't know about you. What do you want to see for the rest of the year?
That, what we just saw then, when we asked for effort, that's what we want. 51 tackles at halftime?
It was.
Where
I
was
said
that?
51, but it ended up being 52. Exactly. Where was that? Where's that been?
That's all we've been asking for. We just, you're probably not going to lose a game of football if you're laying 52 tackles in a half. But if you lay that amount of pressure and effort and lose, we'll forgive you. It's when you put no effort in that we. So that's all we ask for. We need pride in the jumper to end the year, and we can move on to next year.
Love it. Love your work, Kira. Enjoy the win. Not too much Kool-Aid, okay?
No Kool-Aid. Just relief and happiness, and on to next week after we enjoy the win.
Good on you, Kira. Speak to you soon.
Bye, all. Go Blues.
Go Blues. Absolutely go Blues. All right. Willem, the video editor. What's up, my man?
Mate, that was amazing to watch. My shout out is to Weeders. That boy, okay, first quarter, I'm sitting there like shitting my pants, 3 goals, king. And then Weeders decides, you know what, I want to make this kid my bitch, and goes for it for 2 quarters, that second and third, and makes that kid his absolute bitch. Our defense came together and said, fuck you, and showed them why we actually do belong in the 8. If we play like that, we belong in the 8.
Yeah.
That's what we showed.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for Weeders in that he really could have dropped his head, and you could argue that he did a little bit in the first quarter, but that's where he's grown. I think in the early part of his career, if he got a few kicked on him, he started dropping his head. But to see him respond, and really he comprehensively made sure not to let it become a 5, 6, 7 goal performance for King.
Exactly. And that's why I think next season he's definitely a contender for captain. I reckon that should definitely be on the cards, because that's what it takes. Determination, at a quarter time, not hanging your head and saying, well, I hope someone else takes him, or Teague says, well, we'll put Jones on him or something like that. No, he sticks at it and he gets through it and he beats him, because that's what we need in this club, that backbone that says, well, it was hard and now we're going to fight and we're going to win.
I love it.
And also just how tough the boys have been through all this media pressure. Look, it's been on them this year, especially this year. You watch any AFL 360, the boys on 9 News, everything, they're on them like wildfire. It's everything is the Blues we lose, and it's Teague, or it's Cripps, or it's Weeders last week, or it's one of them. They target and they go for him. And it just showed, even if anyone watched Harry's interview after the game, it shows that how actually tough these boys are when it comes to the media pressure. And when it means something to them to win, boy, do they make that performance, and they really put it together.
Yeah.
If they can put that together every week, can the media just have a crack at us every week? Just say, Teague should go and fuck him, fuck that. Mate, we'll show up every week, and that'll just be legendary.
I think that's the thing, though. It's not going to be like that every week.
Exactly.
And the challenge, and we spoke about it this week. The challenge is, okay, this is a week where you're being smashed all week, and you've been reminded every day about what's going on, and therefore you probably expect a response. I mean, for me, it's about next week, the week after, and the week after. Once we get some separation from how intense this week was, that's when we'll really show, because they had to respond tonight. There was almost there was almost no choice. So anyway, before I let you go, thoughts on Lockie O'Brien? How did he go?
I really liked him. I mean, it's a little bit like, where has he been? but I really liked how I love his supply into the 50. I mean, if Harry gets hit up like that every week, no wonder he's going to be a Coleman medal next year as well. I reckon he's a need to be playing. I think Honey was great. He can paint Carlton yellow, that boy. I reckon this is an X factor, and seeing Charlie back, I mean, he is the prince. Yeah. That song, Seven Nation Armies, it was playing in my head. I was loving watching him.
For those at home, Willem is the creative genius behind a lot of the new videos on the channel lately. The Charlie Curnow Return of the Prince video was made by Willem. So, Matt, I want to thank you for that. I look forward. I think it's going to be a lot easier to chop up the fan cams this week, mate.
Oh, much easier. Yeah, definitely. Let's get a couple of points. See you, Tez. Bye.
See you, mate. All righty. Tristan with the 2 says Mackay and Curnow link up plays next year. Bring it on. Bring it on. It's been a long time coming. All right, Shannon. Hello, my dear.
Baggers
are back, baby.
What was that?
I don't believe it. It could still be a dream, so let's not jinx it.
No, well, like you said before, in that last quarter when they started coming back, I'm kind of like, no, don't do this to me. I do not need stress in my life at 10 o'clock at night. Do not do that to me on a Friday night. Please do not.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of pressure that we expect. That's the standard they have set themselves now. The bar has been set. They need to back it up against Gold Coast next week. It's all well and good to respond this week, but they need to continue to respond for the rest of the year.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And it just needs to happen. Like, I'm happy for the win, but I'm under no illusions of what just happened.
Yeah.
Like, they were told to respond, and they did, and the pressure was fantastic. The game was fantastic. I didn't know what to do with myself because, like you said, we're conditioned to be angry. But I'll take the win and just hope that they back it up next week because it means nothing if you don't.
100%. So many stories. Tom de Koning goes off early. Jack Silvani becomes a ruckman / midfielder. I think Pom just said it as well. I even was saying it to myself. I'm like, is Jack Silvani a midfielder? Is that what happened tonight?
I think it is. And Matt Kennedy even had a bit of a crack in there as well.
He did.
But he had a bit of a crack in that last quarter. But for Jack Silvani to stand up and ruck for 3 and a bit quarters after Tommy de Koning went down just shows the kind of player that he is. Happy to put his hand up and play wherever he's told, puts in 110%. And what a shock. You put Ed Curnow back in the middle and we actually do all right.
Yeah.
You play players in their position, they play all right. What a shock.
Who would have known? Now, Shan, listen, you and I, you know what charge we lead. We lead the Mark Murphy charge. We watch him closely.
We do.
Did you notice his body language in the first quarter a little bit, or that second quarter on the bench? Or I just noticed a bit of a frustration in his body language. Did you see that as well? Or
he looked a little bit like, you know what I mean?
And then I don't know. I don't like seeing him play like that. It doesn't do him a service to who he's been, you know? I don't know.
Look, he looked a little bit lost and he looked like he was fumbly. And I'm like, that's not the Mark Murphy I know. And I even said it to Natalie and Mish. I'm like, he's done. You could just see it. Like, get him to 300, finish off the year on a high and retire gracefully. Like, it hurts to say it. Like, saying it out loud actually hurts a little bit. And the fact that he kicked a goal after the siren, let's just let that lie. That's just got a little warm and fuzzy.
We'll give him the sub next week. Lock that in.
Lock. But I reckon they'll probably rest him against Port Adelaide and he'll play his 300th. He'll either play or be sub next week, rest him against Port Adelaide, and he'll play his last game against the Giants. His 300th will be. And hopefully, fingers crossed, if Victoria keeps their shit together, we'll be able to go.
We can be there for it. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Anyway, I don't want to dampen the mood. I wanted to be upfront and honest about it at all times, and I felt like you're the only person I was comfortable enough talking about it with. So,
how good was Charlie's goal? Can we
It was
just talk
good,
about
yeah.
that for a second?
Yeah, he seems to have he's got the magic. It's obviously still there. Some players have it and some don't. I think
Yeah.
it's really just a matter of, get the games into him. It's a huge relief to see him get through. He didn't
Yeah.
spend a lot of time on the bench. Like, he played significant time on the
Good.
ground.
That's good.
We know the Kernos, they're endurance athletes. They're bona fide athletes. This is what they're naturally born with. It's a gift.
Yep.
So to see him get through was great. And, hopefully he can build some confidence and then, big preseason, strengthen up again. And then hopefully by the time we get to round 1, he's kicking 5 against Richmond again.
I like that. And speaking of Richmond, I wouldn't mind them losing this weekend. Also wouldn't mind Collingwood losing and Essendon losing. That would just top off my weekend with a nice little cherry.
Spot on. Shan, love having you on. Thanks for joining. And
Love coming
we'll chat
on.
soon.
Up the baggers.
Up the baggers. All right. What have I got? I'm going to get Jesse.
G'day, mate.
What's happening, bro?
Just pretty excited after that. I was just listening to you and Shan talk about Murph and all that. And, he was big for me, my brother and sister. We all loved him when we were kids. So it'd be very good to see him play 300, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think everyone experiences the whole club differently. And for me, Murph was the first, what the kids look at for Walsh now or Cripps.
Yeah.
That was the first star for me growing up. So it's hard because obviously everyone sees it differently and you got to be honest and all of that. But we won't talk too much about what didn't go right there. What did you take of the game? Were you?
It was awesome to see us get that. And I think I was watching you guys on after the sort of the Collingwood and Bulldogs game and you and Pom talk, and I'm going even when we beat Collingwood, it was sort of like a relief win, but watching us just win for the sake of we played out there and we just wanted to win. It felt like they just wanted to win this game. There wasn't, other than the media backlash that we face every week, we just won because we wanted to win. There was that urge out there to get the win through. So, and it was really good to see them. Everyone had a go. I think Sauce was awesome. He was my standout for me. I thought he played so well, filling in for TDK. And yeah, just Walsh keeps going every week, does the same thing in and out. It's just so good to see him all get in there. And even the new guys like Dow is just getting better every week. And I think looking forward to the end of the season, we just want to keep it going for a few weeks, see if we can get a few in a row, which would be really good.
100%. Mate, what'd you think of Josh Honey? I feel like a lot of us are going to be saying, why hasn't he been in before?
I know. I said in the chat, I was saying geez, we just had the wrong list every game. It feels like today we just had all the right players out there. They all played their role. Honey was awesome. Oh my God, he was good to see play. He's fast. He kicks goals. God, he was so good. And even
he brings energy.
He brings energy, doesn't he? We're missing that. And I think Owies was trying to sort of bring that. And I think he's still good. He's a good set shot kick. But to have some fast player in there sort of taking over from Eddie almost, it's just awesome to see.
Nah, spot on. Very, very, very well said, mate. 3 more games. What do you want to see?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't jump onto these finals things because we're Carlton, so it's very hard. But I just love to see us get some wins in the next few weeks. Hopefully, it would be good to see us beat a team that's obviously above us. So Port would be an awesome win. And I think every week we go in with a chance being able to beat any team. Every time I have a hope that we can win, and I put it on my bloody Maldies every time. So it'd be nice if we could. So I think it would be really cool if we could beat Port. I think we've done it in the past. And it would just be a good sort of fit. Shows us that, next season we're going to have a chance to beat these higher teams. And hopefully push finals like we've been trying to every year. So, yeah.
Nah, well said, mate. Well said. Listen, thanks for jumping on. Great to chat with you. I think this is your first one, right?
It is my first. Yeah, I watch every week. So I just thought I'd jump on and give it a go. It's awesome stuff you do, man. So,
no, I appreciate it, mate. It's great to meet you. And we'll chat soon for sure.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Tez.
See you, bro. Young Sarah.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Oh, look, I'm a lot better this week, Sarah. I'm not going to lie.
That's good. I remember sending you a message last week in tears, crying after the Matildas lost as well as Carlton. Because because not only did the Collingwood win not really feel good, the North win just kind of like the heart being ripped out and then being stomped on and twisted and just did not feel great. And I was like crying to my mum, and she's like, it's a football game. I was like, no, it's not. It's not just a football game, Mum. And I was like, I'm ready to go to the UK and study and not see Carlton for 3 years, like ready to leave. And hopefully by the time I get back, they'll be good. But today, the fact that my brother fell asleep during the game, he was that relaxed, kind of said how chilled I was, because I only screamed when Charlie scored a goal. That says something for someone who's like the loudest in my house. So
Absolutely.
I was very pleased with not having to have no voice by tomorrow.
Yeah, well, yeah. You touched on it before. You messaged me. I was in the dumps. You were in the dumps. You needed something, and I don't know if I gave you enough to bring you back to life, but you held on, and this is what the club do. They just when you think they're dead and buried and they don't care, they show you a little bit, and then next week we're going to be back. And look, hopefully we've won 4 of our last 6. The 2 that we've lost have been poor. 3 games left. What do you want to see?
I want to see Tom de Koning back, because I'm a Tom de Koning, been his number 1 fan since he got to the club, and was very sad when he went down to the rooms today. So I want to see him back, and I just kind of want to see the same people that were playing today play again, because if we can set the bar here, I don't really know if they can drop it, because that was a bar that was set high, and if I cannot scream for a full game, I'd like that for the next 3 weeks.
I think that's a good idea, Sarah. I do. I think that's a great idea. Who was your best on? Because I think it's going to be a toss-up between a couple, and there's a bit of context, but who was your best on?
I love watching Dow at the moment. I'm really liking the way he's been playing since he got back. I feel he's been definitely pushing to keep his spot in the team, which I like that each week I see something better in him. I think Kennedy also has been getting better, but Walsh is definitely, each week he's just becoming better and better in my eyes. But my favourite is always, like, I love watching Tom, because each week I see him grow as a player. And I feel he's very underrated normally when Pito's playing, because Pito's a bit older and more experienced in the ruck. So seeing Tom now as the number 1 ruck playing was really great for me, but then he went down today. So I think Jack stepped up in the right way, and he definitely played that ruck position well.
Well said. Well said. Well, fingers crossed for Tom.
Yes.
And we'll see how we go next week.
Yes.
All righty. See you, Sarah.
Go Blues.
Go Blues. Absolutely go Blues. All right. Rocco, let's dance.
How are we going?
I'm a little surprised, to be honest.
So there's more questions than answers, isn't there? That's the issue about tonight. There's more questions than answers.
Yeah.
What's going on with a lot of things? You know, the win was good. Of course, the win was good. It's surprising, very surprising. But, you know, halftime, what were we halftime like? 11 goals won or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 6-4, and we're behind and we lose the game. So I think the accuracy in our kicking did a lot for our game today. It gave us confidence. And, of course, if you kick straight, it's going to make a huge difference to your game. It always has. Last week, I think we were pretty inaccurate, and it changes the whole complex of the game. So we've got to be careful we don't like paper the cracks here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in saying that, the game was a little bit different. They did shorten the game all of a sudden, you know what I mean? So it did start looking a little bit better. Those inclusions definitely helped the side. You could see that.
Absolutely.
You could definitely see those inclusions. Even Dow, look, O'Brien. He did all right. O'Brien. But we've seen that before. We've seen that before from O'Brien, But you can see when he's put in his position on that wing and he gets like a free kick with that left foot, he can hit targets.
Yep.
He can hit targets, and he did it a couple of times. So we've got to persist with him, especially the next 3 weeks. Bringing in Honey was definitely good. He brought some excitement there. Yeah,
well, he sprints. He sprints, and it sparks energy. It rubs off on the others, you know.
Yep. And you could see I think that second goal was, he kind of let Harry watch it. He kind of let Harry go. Harry kind of like foul, and then he took off and took that mark. He kind of understands where his position is. He doesn't do what Jones does and runs into you, you know, like yeah, you know, so he doesn't do that. So he looked good. And then, you know, like Curnow, it's good that he got through.
Yeah.
He didn't do a whole lot, everybody. Everyone relax. The only good thing about today, of course, that goal was good. And trust me, I clapped for 5 minutes after that. I just sat there I was like a psychopath, just clapping like for 5 minutes doing that. Was good, man. That was good. But he didn't do a lot more after that. You can see he's well underdone. So the only good thing was he got through today. And he got that little bit of confidence. So he'll definitely get better and better. So you can only imagine him and Harry at the front in next year, let's say next year. Imagine him, Harry, Clarkson on the side. You know, it's going to be such a good side, man, when all that's happening.
It's mate, it was a big day today. Clarkson, we've got the Herald Sun article, constitutional changes. Are you after hearing Clarkson speak, are you still convinced that he's going to come and come across, or are you looking at someone else?
No, I think it's Clarkson. I think you know that, you know, our new president there, what's his name? Sawyers.
Yeah.
Sayers. He loves him, man. He loves him, and he hasn't like hidden that he loves him. And they've talked to him. All this Clarkson, kind of the press conference today saying he's finishing a year earlier. That's all coming towards something. You know that. He's coaching next year. You know that. Collingwood are hard on him too. Don't worry about it. And Carlton are going to be hard on him no matter what Teague does in the next 3 weeks. If Clarkson's available, he has to come over.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. We can't let this paper the cracks, because we've seen this before by Carlton. Like I heard, I think it was Willem who said, oh yeah, they responded this week. You know, when they needed to, they responded. They didn't last week. They didn't the week before. So let's forget about that. They responded this week. You know what I mean? All we're doing now is we're just picking the wins now. We're forgetting about all the losses that have happened that they didn't respond. I heard one of the commentators say, oh, they're playing for fatigue. What, all of a sudden they're just playing fatigue this week? You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't want to be like the thing. I was happy. My son was jumping. Curnow kicking that goal was really good. McKay has shown now he's becoming a leader. Man, you could see he's starting to do that Curnow hand. He's starting to demand the ball. And when he's in front, he was like Sticks, man. When he puts those arms up, you're not going to stop him. You're not going to stop him, you know. So he's demanding the ball. Walsh just keeps on keeping on. The Dow's getting better. Wiedering, you have to give him votes. Man, after he kicked 3 goals, that was 10 goals that have been kicked on him in 2 weeks. 10 goals. And I thought, oh, mate, this would be killing him. But he come back hard, didn't he? Hard.
That's what it's all about. And we'll always back them in if they respond in game. In game. That's what you're touching on. It's not about responding, not letting the game go and then waiting for next week to respond. Make the change in game, you know?
Yep. And that's what the good players do. And he is a good player. Look, there's a lot of good come out of tonight. They played a good game. They can build on that. Putting the players in the right position. I do like Dow on the wing there. It really honey. And they played this shorter game and they went long when they had to. You know what I mean? And, you know, Sauce, he's really, really good. He's really good, man. He was good today. I'm telling you, man. He just kept on keeping on, and he's starting to get to that 20-25. And I think Pommy said it, mate. You know, that middle position. You know, I think they've really got to explore that with Sauce.
Yeah, I'm with you. Rocco, it's going to be a good jumper punch this week, mate.
It's going to be huge. Hey, we've got someone on this week we're going to dissect this constitution. So everyone get on. It's going to be a big one because we really everyone have a look at Terry's video first of all. You had that lawyer on there too. I don't know who that bloke was, but he was a good-looking bloke, that bloke.
There's some flog. I don't know who he is.
He came on and he explained everything. And seriously, that really made me understand what it was all about. We're going to dissect it even more. And I want everyone to really understand what this general meeting's about in 2 weeks' time, and what we can do about it. Yeah.
Love it. Good on you, Rocco. Have a good night, brother.
Thanks, brother. See ya.
All righty. Michael McDonald, here he is. At least we can all have a Coleman party. Harry only took last week off to save Ben's reputation. Now that is the banter that I am here for. All right. Joseph Adamo. Hello, mate.
Oh, Tez, mate. Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say that we're back. I won't say that we're back. But mate, you and I were chatting throughout the game. Application, ability to transition mentally from offensive-minded to defensive-minded and not let them run it in the way they wanted to, and they applied themselves today.
Corridor was slammed shut all game. That's what you call a response. Like, they obviously they weren't bullshitting when they said they reviewed last week's game, because you could see the changes. And yeah, you know what? We'll put the Constitution aside, put what the board of directors aside, just for a couple of hours. Like, let's just enjoy that. That was nice. Like, that's winning. That's what winning feels like. It's what a very easy win feels like as well. I can't remember the last time I was that calm watching a game of football.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, there was a little bit of a heartbeat in the fourth. I thought, hang on, no, surely not. But you're right.
And I know a lot of people are saying, we can't slack off, you can't sleep. For me, that happens when you play without a ruck all game and your midfield's going hammer and tong and they've laid 74 tackles to three-quarter time. Like, all right, I'll give them a little bit of a spell for that last 10, 15, whatever we saw, because they were spent. They were absolutely spent. And, we used 3.5 quarters to set up a really good win. The boys should take a lot from that. For me, you said it yourself today, Tez. Teague hasn't had a real crack at coaching a healthy, fully functioning Carlton list. Whether his papers are stamped or not doesn't change my opinion on the guy. Doesn't change my opinion on the fact that the ink has barely dried on his coaching contract to begin with, 18 months in. Because you can see that it's all there. You can see that it's working. You can see it in patches. Tonight we put it together for pretty much 4 quarters. I don't know. My stance doesn't change. It doesn't. And I know it's week to week, and you can point the finger and go, yeah, but what about last week? You don't forget last week. You don't. But if you want to talk about a team checking out on their coach, they wouldn't have shown up tonight. They would have laid down. They would have taken the easy way out. Would have been a 24-point loss, as we've seen for the rest of the year. So stance doesn't change on that one. And speaking about Wiedering, it was an interesting point. And linking that to Teague, I messaged you, I think, in the first quarter. They swung Jones onto King straight away. Now, I don't know if that was player-driven. I don't know if Jones put his hand up and said, Wieders, you play intercept tonight. But for me, that's a coaching change. You see that in games very, very often from other teams, and we haven't seen it very often from Teague. For me, you got to give him credit. Switch. You could see the mismatch with Wieders, could see that King was getting him done. Halfway through the first, Jones never left his man once he was swung onto King. So, I don't know. A few things I take away from it. Very happy, very relaxed, have a good sleep, good weekend. It's nice.
Next Saturday, it's the Gold Coast Suns. What are we doing next week? Are we keeping the team as it is?
I mean, if you want to point out Lockie O'Brien and Willow and these types, remember these guys are fighting for their lives, right? So they're going to be playing out of their skin for the next few weeks. I'd give them another crack. They've earned another crack for sure. For me, I think if there's a spot for Brody Kemp, it's time to see Brody Kemp for the last few games. I'd love to see that. And for me, for the rest of the season, Tez, it's wins. It's 3 more wins.
Yep.
Yeah. If we square the ledger at 11-11, someone tell me the last time we'd won 8 games in a season, let alone 11. Please, someone tell me. You can say what you want about this season, wasted season, should have played finals, but keep it in perspective. This club's come from a fucking long way back. We can all attest to that. We can all attest to the shit that we've seen over the years. And if you can square the ledger at 11-11, for me, that's as good a season almost as what you could have asked for.
Yeah,
almost.
No. Well said, mate. As always, well said. Almost Blues Brothers this week. It's going to be a nice pod to listen to Tuesday morning. I'm not sure what happened on iTunes or Apple Podcasts this week. I have no idea, but hopefully back and running. For those of you who don't know, I don't know where you've been if you don't know who Joe is, but Joe hosts the Almost Blues Brothers podcast. And it's just flying, mate. Absolutely flying.
Oh, stop. It's not. We do our best. It's a bit of a laugh. Yes, 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, that'll be up. Happy pod. Reese and Dan. I think Reese has had a few cordials tonight, so he hasn't really been too sort of. I haven't really been able to understand what he's saying over text.
Hey, let him enjoy it. It's going to be a good weekend.
He could have that. He could have that.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Take it easy, mate.
See you, mate. All right. We got Costa.
Hey, mate, how are you?
I'm a lot better than last week, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, me too.
The smile, fuck me.
Yeah, it's good to have a win, definitely.
Yeah. I think it was there were no illusions over whether we were the better team or not. We absolutely deserve that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we've been asking for, though, right? Like just a good 4-quarter performance, roughly. I mean, in that fourth, we kind of faded away a bit, but we fought back and didn't let them get away, which is something we've done in the past. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I just think we really set the tone with the pressure. I mean, we said it before, 52 tackles in the first half, so you know they got it in them.
Yeah,
and you know they got it in them. There was no leaking in the corridor like there was last week. So what else did you see that maybe hasn't been spoken about yet?
Yeah, that was something huge for me. I was really concerned because last week we got beaten through the corridor play. Really, like North were just playing through that corridor, and they showed before the game. We're 17th in the league from scores against from D50 play, and they're second in the league for the last 4 rounds. So before the game, I was like, look, that's going to happen again, isn't it? Like we're just going to get beaten in that corridor. But I think you've got to give respect to Teague. You've got to give him credit where it's due. He tactically played really well today. I mean, he didn't play, but you know what I mean. He blocked off that corridor really well. Our players were working really hard. Before the game, I don't think anyone's spoken about this. I saw your video passionately talking about Cripps, and I think he was huge in that fourth quarter. Yeah, definitely. And if you look at around the 5-minute mark, I think I noted it hugely. He really steadied the ship when they were coming really hard at us. He laid some huge tackles, played with a lot of composure, which is something we miss a lot during games. When they start coming at us for the last 2 seasons, we've seen that we just leak like a broken tap. But he really stayed composed, laid some huge tackles, won some free kicks, and that was huge for me.
There was a moment I was writing down on my notes about Cripps where I knew it was a different mentality, and it might have been like in the first 5 or 6 minutes. So he was beneath a contest, and usually he would just concede the ball up, but he didn't concede the ball up. He fought out of the contest. He forced the handball out to, I think it was Kennedy, who kicked it over to Dow, who set up maybe Harry. And I was like, that is what I'm talking about. I know he's got it in him, that willingness to not let the contest sort of fall apart and get a stop. He's like, he just kept going, and you could just see his approach to the game was totally different this week.
Yeah, and we've spoken a lot about Cripps because we expect so much from him. I mean, he's shown us how good of a footballer he is, and he gets a lot of criticism. But I think what people don't really appreciate is that I reckon he's his own biggest critic. Like when he has bad games, I can guarantee you he's not sinking his head and just giving up, and he's all about, like, I really think that he's the ultimate professional, and he bleeds for the jumper. He really does. I mean, you don't sign a 6-year contract if you don't fully believe in the group. So I think that was huge. And just to touch on JSOS, I mean, he's becoming my favorite player, really. Like,
mate, it's huge. You can't.
Yeah, let's not forget, like, yeah, less than 12 months ago, his dad was treated so poorly by our club, and I was really concerned before the year. I was like, how motivated is he going to be? Because, I mean, they put him on a stake to hang, really. It was terrible. Like, they blamed Ben and Jack for the reason why they sacked his dad. But the maturity of him to get over that and come into this season and play the way he has, he's faced so much adversity as well with his shoulder and getting concussed, and he just always finds a way to play with heart and soul. Like, and that's something that not a lot of players play with now. When you watch Carlton, I mean, he consistently every single week, you can never doubt his effort. He's there to play, And today he had 25 touches playing in the ruck. Sure, he couldn't win the hit-outs. That's not what we expect from him. But we expect effort. And to have 25 touches playing in the middle, like that, I think he was our second most disposal getter. That's incredible. I mean, we expected him to be kind of like a journeyman, like take a few marks, but he's elevated himself, and that's what we've been asking for, right? Like we've talked about that void between the best and the rest of the pack, and he's starting to edge himself up there a bit. I mean, maybe I'm getting a bit too excited, but I really think he can be like an A-grade footballer in the role that he's playing. I mean, he will never be like a Paddy Cripps or a Sam Walsh, but for his role, he played it spectacularly, and I think he's been consistent in that this season. So I'm really, really happy with his game.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Spot on. Very well said as always, mate. We love having you on here.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, listen, enjoy your weekend, knowing that you don't have to stress about what's going to happen on Saturday or Sunday because it's a win.
No. It's an eased anxiety weekend this weekend.
Yeah. A little bit more of a relief for us this week. Enjoy, mate, and I'll speak to you soon.
Awesome, bro. Take it easy.
Paul Sebastiani.
Tez, hello, mate.
Got the Carlton gear on, mate. You're back on board with the boys.
I never left, mate. I never left. You know I've never left.
Oh no, of course.
I can't leave, mate. It's. I think your sister put up a fantastic tweet of Michael Corleone in The Godfather 3 when he said, "Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in."
It's so true.
I know. They suck us in, don't they? Oh, look, it's nice to start a weekend with a W next to your team's name, so we don't have to sulk and have our heads in our hands. So, look, I mean, I want to give a bit of love to the names that we haven't really spoken about this year, mate. I thought O'Brien. I mean, I'm going to have him in my votes on the JP. I thought he there was a bit, look, whether or not it's because his career's on the line, but, you know, I mean, your career's on the line every time you step out there, really. I thought he competed well and his hunger was there, and it was nice. It was nice to see him using the ball inside forward 50 rather than Ed Curnow.
Yeah, well, it's funny what happens when you play a player or when a player is in a position to succeed. Now, whether that's on coaching or whether that's on Lockie to work hard enough, I don't know. But you could just tell he got the ball in positions that allowed him to use his attributes.
Yeah, I think it's just more on him working hard enough. I mean, like I've kept tabs on the reserves, you know, for the whole year basically, and you know, I've just seen him down there, and I'm thinking, okay, geez, your endeavour and your hunt for the pill just not. It's not at the level that it needs to be. So, but look, mate, this is the thing when it comes time for your chance to step up and you get called up to the team, you got to go. Tez. It's as simple as that, really. So him and I thought Honey really he was really dynamic up in that front half as well. He hunted and he chased and he took his goals. He took his goals fantastically well. And I think too, I like his hunt from the aerial balls as well. He's not scared to jump and have a run at it too. So, and we probably should have had 3 goals. He was unlucky not to kick that last goal. But speaking of the last goal, you would have been a very happy man.
I was. I'm not going to lie. It's I said it with Shannon before.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch him. It's hard to watch him play like that. It's where, look, clearly getting him to 300. You know, is he going to be remembered for his last 5 games? I don't think so. He's going to be remembered for his first 200 odd games. But it is, you know, there's that saying. I think Mick Malthouse, a lot of the athletes talk about it. I think Simo's a great example of this. You either leave a little early with a little bit left in the tank, or you leave a little too late and it just doesn't look good. And I hope it's just a matter of he's not fit and he's just got no touch, and it's probably is what it is. And I don't know, just as a big fan of his, as you know, I just don't like seeing it. That's not Mark Murphy for me. It just does him a disservice to what he has been.
Yeah, you could see like his attack on the pill is not where it used to be or where it really should be at for an AFL level. But look, I mean, it's all semantics now with his sort of career, and I think he'll probably bring it to an end. But look, mate,
at the end of the day, he's a sub, so you don't expect him to come on.
Yeah. So spot on, mate. Jack Silvani, Jesus Christ, mate, he's taken to that ruck role sensationally well, hasn't he? I mean, imagine if all the blokes played like him every week. Like, mate, he takes the ruck roll and he just says, yeah, whatever. I know these blokes are 15, 20 centimetres taller than me, or, 10, 15 centimetres taller than me. But he competes, mate, and mate, he won a fair. I think he had about 25 touches and 5 clearances tonight. Took his goal, and I thought he was best on. Really, him and Dow were both fantastic. I think the big thing for us, and I'm not getting sucked into the win because for me, quite simply, I think it's too little, too late with regards to how we played tonight. I mean, you play like that last week, and what frustrates the hell out of me is that last week had nothing to do with the talent on the field or anything like that. It was just application and the inability to recognise the strength of the opposition as well. And they come out like that this week. And look, for me, I think the big thing to take out of tonight was the next generation coming through and taking the onus, really, because that's what it's all about now. And I think the scary thing is with Sam Walsh, mate, this kid, he's starting to add goal kicking to his game.
Mate, he's he's at a 3. I mean, maybe Jack will get the 3 votes tonight, but if he doesn't, I think Walsh has endeared himself to the umpires. Because I feel like when the game was there to be won in that first half, Walsh was with Jack were just the clear standouts.
And kicking sensational goals as well. And that's what it's all about. You've got to continue to develop your game and add bows to the rest of your, add more to your armour in. I mean, he reminds me of, I was speaking to a mate about this, he's like Robert Harvey, mate. You can't tag him.
Yeah.
You can't be tagged. So, look, all's well but ends well. It's positive for the club. I'm not really sure about whether they'd go with Teague in or Teague out. Who knows? But I think they would have already made a decision by now. But and I said this on the JP last week as well. I don't think it's about the coach, the players not playing for him. I think they are playing for him. I just think it's to do with the nous in the coach's box. So, but look. Positive win, and we can go out and have a smile on our faces this weekend. So, unfortunately, tomorrow I won't be calling the game. There's no commentary on the VFL game tomorrow.
You're kidding?
Sandy don't have the facilities. I just got the email before, which is heartbreaking. But no, that'll be good to watch. Mitch McGovern's coming back, so he can maybe add something to our forward line late in the year. But look, positive starts of the weekend. That's what it's all about.
Correct. Hopefully, we can make it 2 in a row and build off it to finish the year.
Indeed. No worries.
All right, mate. You take care of yourself.
No worries. Enjoy, guys. Have a good night. Go Blues.
Love your work, mate. Adam from Arizona. Hello, mate.
Hello, Terry. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, mate. ¿Qué pasa? What's going on?
Bueno, muy bueno.
It's a week is a long time, isn't it?
It sure is, and it's great to win. It's great to win comfortably. I mean, 3.5 quarters of work, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Especially hard work.
What did you notice of the effort this week compared to last week?
Just the application and just the collective pressure. I felt like anytime St Kilda was getting the ball, we were there. We were just right on them, and that's all we can ask, really. I'd like to see it for 4 quarters, eventually, but we'll take 3.5 and a 40-point lead, So,
yeah,
what's to complain about?
Yeah, I mean, I think in my notes anyway, we had built such a big lead, and I actually wrote in the 3rd quarter that we had just started controlling the game, which was good to see. Obviously, it slipped a little bit in the 4th. The Saints are a proud team, and they've got a coach who's a very proud man, and he's not a quitter. Look, a win's a win. I think the most important thing is we use it to build something, and we can't, because I mean, you'll learn if you go back. We have just finished season so poorly because we've not been in the finals race, and we get to the last couple of games, and it's just a little bit of a, whatever, give up, where everyone's playing finals, we're not. And I think it is important this year that we don't do that and we actually build for the future.
Right. We need consistency just at the end. Just build some consistency. Bring some of these, these Lockie O'Briens, these Josh Honeys into the team and bleed them in. They played great. Both of those guys played great today. And I'm just like, where's that been?
Spot on, mate. No, spot on. We'll build off it, and hopefully we can sit here on Saturday afternoon, Melbourne time, and talk about another win, hey?
Here's hoping, man. Here's hoping.
Good on you, brother. What time is it there?
6:47 in the morning. You are looking at the Arizona sun to my right.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you've got a big day ahead of you and a happy day ahead of you.
Yeah, man. I got a good day planned, so it's a good start.
Yeah, love your work, mate. Take care.
For sure.
Ian.
How we going, Terry?
Bandcamp's debut and a win, mate. Got to love that.
Mate, I was coming on either way. So win, lose, or draw is going to be here, but it makes it so much sweeter when it's a win. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's good to smile on a Friday night knowing that there's no worries for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, we needed it so much. And look, I got to kick things off. I got to go almost full pommy here with this. Joshy, oh, honey, honey, what a performance from that man.
I think we just added a new chant to the club.
Mate, that's what I'm here for. Got to bring something new. But, oh, what a man. I mean, I've been one that, like many, have just been calling to see him finally get a game. I've been lucky enough to go to some VFL games this season and just have seen what he brings. And, I mean, you look at his stats, the 2 goals won, 2 tackles, 3 goal assists, 7 score involvements, 14 pressure acts. It's everything you needed from this sort of small, crafty forward. But I think we've just been missing the way he just pushed up the ground, attacked those contests hard. There were just those times where like the camera zoomed in real tight to a contest and he's going, gee, how are we winning it out here? And he just crushes it, comes in out of nowhere, wins the ball, gets the handball out. Oh, I just love him. It was great to see so many of these guys step up this week.
Yeah, 100%. One of the first things I wrote down about him when I was watching tonight was he looks so much better than what he did last year at the level.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking straight away, he needs to play a month. Like he probably needed a month ago, but that's okay. We're here now.
Yeah.
He's playing now. And I think that he's just going to I think the level is going to come to him a little bit more quicker than what we think. I think he's going to be fine for us.
Yeah, I hope so. And that was sort of what I was going into this game thinking. Obviously, after last week, everyone's so down. And you're looking at the rest of the season going, look, you obviously want to win, and we want to win every single game. But the big thing was just trying to see improvement, because that's what we didn't see last week. It was just so many steps backwards and just trying to find little things. And with the inclusions of Honey, O'Brien, that's what we're looking forward to. And just looking at O'Brien's stats as well, it's insane because going into the game, no one would have expected him to maybe even get 15 disposals. He ends up with 21, which is insane. And the silver service he was giving to Harry, God, Harry's going to be even better if he can even be better with what he was getting. I was just so happy as well with the midfield spread. It's been something I've been pretty high on this year in like games that we win. It sounds so dumb, but all the midfielders seem to rack up more disposals. It's something we've needed a lot more of with, Walsh and Cripper taking the brunt of it. And this week, Cripper and Walsh high on 26, Silvani 25, Kennedy, Dow, O'Brien, all in those 20s. If we can start to get and blood in this midfield group that we're seeing now, a lot of those are, early 20s. It's just going to put us in such a good position going forward. Whoever's coaching us, who knows? But I think the big thing from the rest of this season is, it's obviously only one game. Thank God we won it and won it well. But it's trying to see all these good signs that we saw from this week and seeing how we can continue that for the rest of the season. And like you said, blood these guys in for 4 weeks. Don't just give them 1 or 2, they have a bad game and can them. They need a bit of continuity.
100%. 100%. I think you're spot on. We just need something to latch onto for next year,
Yeah, and look, one guy I don't think anyone's talked about is Willow. He needs a shout-out. He kicked 2 goals from half-back. He isn't someone that's going to get a lot of plaudits. I've been pretty harsh on him as well this season, but I thought he played really well today, kicked a couple of snags, and you love to see it.
Yeah, especially for a guy like him who's probably also fighting for his spot and trying to figure out where's he gonna cement himself. I thought it was a good one from him, mate. Before I let you go, got to plug the pod. Where can we listen to?
Thank you.
Where can we listen to?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, it'll be there. The Navy Blue Corner, if you want to have a listen, feel free to. It's always a bit of a laugh, and it's always so much better after a win, I tell you what.
I feel you, brother. I feel you.
Yeah, I don't know how you get through some of these fan cams when we get absolutely belted like last week. That would have been rough.
Well, as they say in marriage, in sickness and in health. So, you've got to be here in the good times and the bad. But it's all good. It's one big happy family. One big family. Maybe not always happy, but one big family.
Exactly. And look, hopefully we can just continue some sort of this form for the rest of the season. That's all we want to see. Wins and just get it done.
Yeah. Bang on, mate. Bang on. Preach.
Too easy.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
No worries. You too. Enjoy your night, Terry. Catch ya.
Love it. J Barbs with the 5. Just want to point out that our last premiership coach is also ex-Hawthorn. Great win today, though. Go the Blues. Oof. Very interesting one there. All right. What do we got here? Mark. Hello, mate. Can't hear you there. Hang on. Let's try and get your audio going, mate. Carl?
Hello, mate. How you going?
Good, mate. What's that jumper you got there? It looks familiar.
Yeah, you love it, mate. That's it, mate. That's the jumper.
Blue broad game, yeah.
Yeah, mate. Just want to say, like, it was a great win. Obviously, like that last quarter, you know, I had a lot of stress coming out, like the nerves that we all have as Blues fans. You know, the Saints got a bit close to us there, and I do take on point, a lot of the points. Sorry, like on board. Like a lot of the points that some of the fans made about the fact that, yeah, you know, we were short in the Iraq, right? Jack played like an amazing game. You know, like it was just full of heart. And, but yeah, obviously, you know, you'll have to see him play the 4 quarters. But no, look, I'm very happy with the win, and hopefully we can win the next 3, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, let's be honest. They put in some serious hard work, particularly in that first half. You got to give them credit. After we all sat here last week and asked, you know, what's happened? Why are they, you know, why can't they give us the effort to come out and lay the tackles like that? But for me, it's more about foundation. They got to set the standard and find something where they can commit to and say, boys, this is what we are committing to. For this is what it's got to be every week. You know.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, I was going to ask you. I mean, like, the way we played that first half, wow. You know, like, there was such a great standard. And, like, I want to ask you, like, what do you think that's been? Like, do they have to play like that, like, after a bad loss? Or is it the fact that maybe, like a Clarko could be, you know, the next coach? There's the fear of that. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Why does it take something like that for them to play like that?
Mate, that's the $1 million question. Now, was it the structure, having the 2 key pillars there in Charlie and Harry?
Yes,
did that help out? Because I think what that allowed us to do is it allowed Zach Fisher to come up the ground a bit more, because you got Honey in there as well. Having the 2 pillars there, I think, probably can't be understated. I think it's important.
Yeah.
You know, but who knows? Who
knows? I mean, like, you're right. I mean, like, you see those 2 tools there, and even me prior to the game, you know, I mean, watching that Charlie video there, right, the one that guy made, and you're getting pumped up, and you're thinking, oh, you know, like, you can't wait for him to play. And look, I mean, I knew he wasn't going to play the best game, but that goal was just, yeah, that was just silk. And but I think, yeah, you're right. Like, the main thing I found was that Harry didn't have 2 or 3 players on him, like the whole game, which, like, in the past games he does. So we didn't really need a big game. Charlie just had to take his man away. Like, he led a lot and he sort of made space. So yeah, you're right. That was a big factor. Yeah.
Yeah. Bang on, mate. Bang on. How are you going to enjoy the weekend? What are you doing this weekend? You're just going to take it easy?
Yeah, mate. Well, I mean, obviously, like, we can't do much, mate. Like, I love to go out and, you know, like, I love to party and that, but you know, unfortunately, we're in these sort of bad times. But look, you do feel much better after a win, mate. So obviously, I'll be in a much better mood than what I was like last week with that loss. So yeah, mate. I don't know. Just probably do stuff around the house and probably just catch up with mates over the phone. I mean, yeah, there's not much you can do, really, is there?
Love it. No, love it. Well, make sure you go out for a nice walk tomorrow. Wear that hoodie. Let everyone know where it's at.
Yeah, well, mate. I love the hoodie, mate. Love it.
Appreciate your support, mate. You have a good one.
Thanks, sir, mate. The same to you.
See you, mate. All right. We've got Jack De Gabriele.
Hello, Terry.
How are you, my friend? You're from Malta, right?
Yep. And I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid?
Yep.
Why
I'm
not?
happy. Yeah. That was a great win today. All the boys played their best. I think that there wasn't a player that played bad today. O'Brien came into the side. He had 20 disposals. He played on the wing, where he should be, not 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 playing forward. And I think the team balance was very good today.
I agree. It looked different from the effort, from the structure, from everything. It kind of makes you wonder, how do we bottle this up and spread it every week? What's the answer? I don't know.
Yeah. The pressure today was there as well. The pressure was there all day. I think Hani has to play more. He's got very good potential, and it was great to see Charlie Cano back after 2 years. I remember back in 2019 seeing him on my laptop. It's just great.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you were watching like the pregame, but you could see he was bouncing off the walls, and he's energy. He is energy for the group, and I think that there was something in him playing today that it just felt normal again, having him back, and it's hopefully he can just play the next 3 and get through, and then build big preseason, and then all of a sudden we have the 2 big towers again.
Yep. Playing Harry and Charlie in the forward line, it's a very dangerous forward line. When you've got Charlie leading up, and then having Harry one-on-one in the goal square, that's just good for us. And then there's Silvani, Mitch McGovern. So there's potential for next year to challenge for the top 8, maybe top 4. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Spot on. No, you're spot on. 3 more games. What do you want to see?
Maybe we can win 2 games. But the most important thing, I want to see more young players taking their chance, and Charlie Cano stays healthy. I want him to play these 3 games. Then next year we have to be there for the top 8.
Yeah,
There's no excuses next year.
No, that's right.
No
there is no more excuses. That's right. Because we can see what happens when they apply themselves, and we know how good they can be. And I think that's maybe why we get so mad, because we know they can be better.
Yep. And before I go,
yes,
I just want to say well done to Jack Silvani, the man that I am named after. Believe it or not.
Is that right?
Believe it or not. My grandma told my mom to name me Jack because of the Silvani family, and I'm honored to be named after him.
Wow, I'm honored to have been speaking with you. I love it. Jack, you have a great weekend, my friend. What time is it in Malta?
It's 4:00
in the morning.
4:00 in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. Okay, so you have a nice evening ahead of you.
Yeah. Same to you, mate.
Awesome. See you, mate.
See ya.
What a star. He's got the Crip Wings in the background, all the way from Malta. All right, who we got? Let's Chris Beach.
I said to you after the Fremantle game, Terry, hallelujah. I said it to you after that. But I also want to say this as well. I know it was his first game back, and I know I didn't have many touches, but I'm going to say this. He's back. You're going to have to deal with him now, AFL. He's back, and he's ready to run rampant on the competition again.
Yeah, it's really about moments with him, isn't it? It's about just making sure he gets through all the little tests when he jumps at the footy with one leg, with 2 legs, when he lands, and then obviously getting the match touch, and then I think structurally as well. I mean, no one. I don't think anybody expected anything from Charlie tonight. It was more about just get through. So I think he did that and then some. The performance, I don't think we're at that stage where we're going to be, critiquing him because we know what's going on. But structurally, it just you need to have a tall defender on him. You can't just sag off all the time for Harry, and I think that's going to help us a lot.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Because if you whine about one person, the other one's going to be loose and causing damage all day, every day of every game.
Yeah, spot on. Spot on. There's a couple of people who haven't been spoken about tonight, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on.
Sure.
Jack Martin. How did you see Jack Martin's game today? I thought he started with the right intensity as well. They all did, but I thought he started with the right intensity.
Okay. Look, his intent, I'm agreeing with. He was up there. Last few games, he hasn't been up there, which is what we're expecting for a guy of his caliber. I think he just needs to find the consistency that he had previously when we got him into the club. It's now just to try and find that form back with him before we can start to rely on him like we used to.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think obviously it's been an interrupted year for him, but when Jack's playing with that intent, that's all we really need to see. I think that's important. I thought even Ed Curnow early in that game as well really played a hard game. It's just good to see them do what they're capable of doing, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, who could have thought he runs through the middle and he actually does the job there? You play him anywhere else, he uses the butcher knife through that football.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. Are you looking for any specific changes next week? I mean, Mitch McGovern's going to play in the reserves tomorrow, assuming he gets through. Do you look to bring him back in? If so, what's the situation?
Well, that's a debate now, isn't it? We need to watch the VFL to find out how he goes in there against Sandy, out in Sandy. And then, we make that assessment after that.
Yep. Yeah, I look forward to seeing how he goes because he's clearly a level above the reserves grade. So if he gets through well, all of a sudden we've got the three of them back in the forward line.
Exactly right. And that's a three-headed monster most defenders will not want to have to deal with.
Yeah, no. Well said, mate. Maybe we can keep Jack Silvani in the midfield then.
Yeah, potentially. And have him ready as a backup ruckman in case we need it again, which might happen.
Which might happen. We'll see how it plays out, Beachy. But love having you on, mate. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll chat soon.
Absolutely, mate. And just before that, flew the flag today. So this is exactly what I was wanting to happen. So fantastic.
Good on you, legend. All right. Mark, let's try you again, mate. No, I cannot hear you. You're going to have to take yourself off mute. I'll give you a quick moment. There's an icon. All right. I'll try you again shortly. Webby.
Hello, Terry.
Hello, sir. What's happening?
How are we? Funny what happens when you bring in a few kids and they actually play well, isn't it? O'Brien, Honey, Charlie Kerner kicked that goal from 55 off one step. I'll tell you what. I was wet, mate. I was wet.
It got a little bit juicy in here too. Don't worry about that.
It's just frustrating that they can do it. It's not the list. There's nothing wrong with the list. It's all above the shoulders with these blokes, mate. It's all above the shoulders.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And a lot of people have said it tonight. It's within them. And you look at it there were quite a few guys out there that are still inexperienced, but still some very, very talented players out there tonight. I mean, Lockie O'Brien, this is kind of where I think he should be at this stage of his development, playing like this, getting the 20 touches around about there. This is he shouldn't look lost for me. This is the kind of game that I expect him to be playing,
Yeah. Just on O'Brien, it's an absolute indictment on the club that Cottrell was getting a game ahead of Lockie O'Brien. O'Brien is a much better kick, and we saw that tonight in that second quarter. I don't know who he hit up, but it was a beautiful kick, and they went back and kicked the goal. it's just an absolute indictment on the football club that Matty Cottrell, right, was getting a game ahead of Lockie O'Brien.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You've been watching some of the reserves games too. I have, and I didn't think O'Brien's work rate was there during the reserves games. And fair enough. You see Cottrell, he might not hit the target, but you see the work rate.
Yeah.
What are you going to reward? Yeah. And that's where I think it's probably on Lockie a little bit. Like, listen, you got the talent. That kick of his, it's beautiful, mate. It's beautiful, but you got to match it with some work rate.
Like I do agree. I watched the VFL game against Coburg, and it did look as though he had given up. But we saw the same thing with Harry Mackay going back years and years ago. Like he couldn't get a kick at VFL level, mate.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. If it's all above the shoulders. It's all above the shoulders. We are good enough. We are good enough. This is a top 6 list here, and I don't care what anybody says. I want to give a shout out to Josh Honey.
Okay.
The Honey Pot. Now, people are going to laugh, right? People are going to laugh, but Josh Honey plays like Jordan DeGoey.
Oh, Webby.
Now, I'm not saying he's Jordan DeGoey.
No, I like it.
Swoop, if you're out there, I'm not saying he's Jordan DeGoey. But he has the same build. He's powerful. He's fucking powerful, mate. We saw it tonight. How powerful is he?
He is. He's got the spunk. For me, he needs a month just to feel the level, and he's just going to get better and better.
Keep playing them. Keep playing them. And before I go, I have to give a shout out to your mate, Swoop.
Yep.
Who tried to tell everybody on Twitter that Collingwood had a better list than Carlton. Well,
I saw it. He's having.
Are you joking, Swoop? Swoop. See you later, brother. See you later. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Let's go. Let's go.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you, mate.
All righty. Christopher.
How you going, mate?
Good, mate. Good to see you back.
Yes, good to be back. Just a quick, before I get started, thank you for everyone for a couple of weeks ago when I was on. You were really nice and it really meant a lot to me. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Terry, as well. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
No worries, mate. We gave you a virtual hug that night. That was good.
Yes, I do appreciate it a lot. Anyway, what a game, Terry. I mean, that was defense. That game was all about defense. I know we kicked accurately, but Jesus, we looked like we actually had a defensive plan for the first time in a very long time. St Kilda looked completely out of ideas for 90% of that game. And it was so good to it felt like I was watching someone beat us, like how other teams would beat us, where we lose. It just looked like they were completely out of ideas. Like we looked against North, we looked like we were completely out of ideas. And they played against us. They were looking at the line and thinking, what do we do?
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. And the number one stat of the night, and we had some great players, but none of it is relevant to the one stat that mattered the most. 80 tackles. 80 tackles.
Amen.
What a team performance that is. That is. Can you remember the last time we had 80 tackles in a game, Terry?
I honestly can't. And it goes to show, because the way I see it, they're a very talented bunch of players. A lot of them have been drafted very high. And if they start their game with the tackle pressure as the focus and then let the talent be instinctive rather than try and win games just with the talent, just that alone will make us a better side. If we're willing to do the hard stuff, the game's weird. It rewards you. Like we weren't getting a lot of the free kicks early in the game, and then it really started changing. We were doing the hard stuff, the 1%ers, and you sort of started seeing I don't know if you call it the footy gods or whatever, but things started just going our way because we earned that right.
Yeah, I have a little philosophy. You say like the best defense is offense, and the best offense is defense.
Yeah,
and what I mean is that when you're defensive, you want to think attacking wise. You want to be really aggressive on the opponent, make it really hard for them to play against you. And then when you play defensively well, it creates chances for you offensively. Like we saw tonight, what is it, 70 points off turnovers? Like that's just good defense, straight up. And the accuracy was good, but a lot of the goals were easy. Like they weren't hard goals. They were like 20 meters out, 30 meters out, and that's what Teague has struggled with so much. He's always been worried about attack. Well, defense is attack. If you pride yourself on the defense, the attack comes with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Forced turnover,
and it was fantastic. And and probably his job's already gone. And it's probably fair enough because last week was absolutely horrific. But and the thing with Teague, and I think people haven't talked about it a lot, is I think he's a great man manager. In the terms of the players obviously love him and they've always loved him, and I think that the fact that his tactics aren't great and he just hasn't had the assistants around him to help cover his tactical deficits, because the players played for him today. Like there's no doubt. Like if they'd given up, they would have just. You can't not play for the coach and have 80 tackles. It just doesn't happen. Right, so it's definitely, I feel bad for him because I think the club has let him down to a big extent, but also, it's a win-loss business at the end of the day, and if that's just how it is sometimes. So I feel bad for him, but also the big news, Clarkson. Obviously, what do you think about Clarkson, Terry? I wonder what you think about him.
I listened to his press conference today, and my read of his body language was a guy that genuinely wants to take a break from football. I'm a big Ross Lyon fan, but at the same time, I just don't know. So I'll just wait until they make the decision on Teague or not, and then I'll just go from there. I don't really know. Like I don't think right now is the time to sack. Like right this second, I don't know. That's the real answer, But I'm not convinced from what I saw that Clarko's desperate to coach again next year anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. I think, just quickly, if I would say if Teague, I pretty much say if Clarkson wants to coach us next year, I think then you get rid of Teague. But if Teague does well these past few games, I think just keep him there, keep him to his contract. None of the other coaches are really going anywhere if Clarkson's not available next year. Get some new assistants around him, see how it's going. Because Ross Lyon and there's still a lot of good coaches out there.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any real rush to get rid of him, especially because all the assistants are going. Yeah. So that's good as well.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I appreciate you coming on. I've got quite a few more to get through, so I will move you along. But sending love.
Quickly, I just became a premiership member, so everyone get on board with the channel. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate. Have a good night.
See you, brother. Libbo.
Hey, mate. How you doing?
Going good, mate. It's a different week this week, that's for sure.
Oh man, it's different because I'm on. Like I'm a bit of a fair weather fan cams. I don't like jumping on when we lose. I bring myself down enough, let alone jumping on here and being told how shit we are. It's good to jump on and celebrate with you. So, but just as Christopher was saying, I've jumped on and bought a T-shirt tonight. Very fair weather of me. I've been meeting too.
Speaking of, you are now in the draw to win this bad boy. They've got one more day for people, so that'll be drawn out. That'll be drawn out in the next few days. So those of you enter anything from the store, and we go from there. Anyway, enough of the plug. Appreciate you buying a T-shirt.
It was brilliant. Listen to particularly Webby prior. Loved what he had to say, and obviously big shout out to Christopher again. I did watch the other night when he was sharing. I just thought that was brilliant. And then you had the two blokes overseas, Adam and I forget. Oh, Jack, of course. How could I forget from overseas? So it's just awesome that the people that you're getting on here is fantastic, and the usuals, of course.
There's one more here in the waiting room. He's from Dubai. I can see him waiting there. He's in the queue. So there's another one there.
Excellent. Yes. No. Good.
Talk to me about the game, mate. What did you see? Talk to me. What'd you feel? What'd you notice?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was that said it, but it was like watching us. Last week we were St Kilda. You know, we just absolutely dominated them. Everything they did was under pressure. Yeah, they had the same amount of scoring shots, and people say that our accuracy papered over the cracks, but we dominated them around the ground. I thought no matter what. I think it was Webby that said, "This is the list. I hope that we take whatever draft pick we get to the draft this year," because I don't think, you can always add more, but I feel like we can just develop this list and it'll be okay. I'm still on the Teague train, even with Clarko coming out, and I think that's quite divisive. But the amount of time that he's had, I'm still backing him in, and it's easy to say after a win. As much as I was cursing him last week and cursing the whole team last week, I feel like it was the players and not the coach. But that's people will easily disagree with me. I was doing a bit of POM research while I was waiting in the queue there, going back through, and scrolling through, I missed one. We won Friday night last year when we beat the Gold Coast. In the NT, and then prior to that we hadn't won on a Friday night since 2014, and Ed Curnow and Mark Murphy were the only two players that night that were actually part of that list. So I hate Friday night footy, so it was good to get a win on a Friday.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hopefully we can get a surprise Friday night game in the next few weeks, but I don't think we will, because we'll see. Who knows? There's twists and turns coming with the world and what's happening. So, mate, hopefully we're hearing from you next week after a win again.
Yeah. No, thanks for getting me on, mate. All the best.
Cheers, brother. Zach.
Hello.
Talk to me, my friend. What's happening?
Oh, relieved, aren't we all?
Absolutely.
JSOS today, I know a lot of people have spoken about him, but I think we had 10 hitouts today, roughly. Like, that's barely anything. He's almost like a midfielder to the St Kilda ruck, because Marshall got a decent amount of hitouts himself, and Silvani was like a midfielder to those hitouts, and he was bombing him forward, gaining territory. So he's just evolving every week, and I'm loving to see it.
Yeah, I think we all first had the Jack Silvani in the midfield on the radar after he tagged Nat Fyfe in that win against Freo in 2019. And then obviously he's just been unlucky with injury and hasn't been able to get continuity now. You've seen, I think his last 5 weeks, it's been the best 5 weeks of his career. And I think it's starting to really click for him, and he's just in games more. I still remember Jack Silvani, 8-9 possessions and maybe 2 or 3 marks. And it's funny what happens when you let them develop,
Yeah. Like, I remember when his first few games was a bit shaky. He wasn't really playing his best. But I think, as I said, the last 5 weeks, he's definitely shown improvement.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. We can't. I just think we can't always win as a response. I'm happy that we won today, but we can't always really win as a response to a bad week prior. Like the Adelaide game, for example, we had 3 bad weeks before that. So, we had to respond there, and now we have to respond here. So it'd be good to see us win, in the next few weeks, maybe not as a response, but, as a normal thing.
Yeah, 100%. For those of you guys watching, Zach here has been working very hard on his craft, and I think we're going to get a debut article this weekend from you. You're going to do your most undervalued player. What are you writing about for the website?
It would be 3 underrated players from this game. Last week it was very hard to choose.
Don't tell us who. Let it be a surprise.
Well, I don't know yet. That's the thing.
You
Last
don't know
week
yet?
it was
Okay,
hard to
good,
choose.
good. Yeah.
This week it is going to be even harder, to be honest. There was a lot of good players.
Yeah. No, I look forward to it, mate. Keep up the great stuff. Keep working at it, and we'll speak to you tomorrow.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Ciao. All right, Nathan.
Hey Tez, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I just wanted to say I found the channel this year, and it's really got me through the year quite nicely, with lockdowns and stuff, and obviously wanting to support the boys as much as possible. And everyone who puts content on the channel, you're all legends. So thanks a lot.
Oh, mate, appreciate it. I'm glad you found glad you found somewhere to join in online. It's we're a funny, we're a family. We're a funny one. We're up and down, and it's just good to share it with a bunch of people.
Just having like-minded people and hearing all your opinions it just it makes the losses easier to digest. Like I used to take them on really hard and kind of try and go through it in my head, but just to hear other people's opinions, and even watching the Jumper Punch boys on a Tuesday just take the piss a little bit, and if you don't laugh you'll cry sometimes. So it's been a godsend really. So appreciate all your hard work.
No, I appreciate it, mate. Talk to me about the game. It was where's that been, eh?
Yeah, I was mentally preparing myself, to be honest, based off last week's performance. I was struggling to see how the boys would try and get up for it, because last week was just one of the toughest games I remember trying to watch in years. So I thought they were going to ruin my weekend on a Friday, as usual. Every Friday game we play, but I was pleasantly surprised with the effort. Seeing some of the boys get in the team. Honey, I think everyone's kind of mentioned him. I just thought he came out of the gates firing. We all saw it coming. He's been putting really big work in the reserve, so it was always bound to kind of translate to the seniors. I was happy for Tom Williamson as well. I mean, he got on the board a couple of times. I'd probably been a bit hard on him, and he hasn't really been able to crack into the team. So it was good to see the boys get around him. And Jack Silvani was just like incredible. I almost think trial him out for the last few games in that position, because as people have already alluded to, it's like having another midfielder in there, and the midfield looked great tonight. Why, we always have the impression that we need to play two talls. When Casbolt was out of the team and whatnot, and always coming back in. But why not trial it? I mean, he's playing the best foot he's played in his life. It's worked for the Tigers, playing with small ruck, Marlon Pickett and whatnot. Why not give it a go?
Yeah, I'm with you. No, I think this is the time to look forward. I think they said something on the commentary tonight about where the team. We have debuted one player this year. Now, obviously, we have been drafting and bringing in new players every year and whatnot. So maybe the time for us is more to get games into those 20 to 60 game players. But I think the injection of youth is important, especially a guy like Honey. Like, you look at the sprint efforts and his second and third efforts. Like, he's hungry. Like, he wants to prove a point. And I think you need to have those fresh legs in there.
I almost kind of feel bad for the bloke that it took him this long to crack into the seniors, because I mean he's probably been one of the hardest workers in the reserves. I mean, I've been able to get down to watch a couple of games this year and kind of kept track with him on KO, but he's done it week in, week out, and I think there's probably been opportunities earlier in the year where he could have come in and he might have been a difference maker here or there, but better late than never. I'm happy to see him out there. I think he's got some good potential, especially for a guy like Betts, who's second leading goal kicker of the year, is not potentially going to play next year, but we don't know yet. But you need those kind of small dynamic players, and I think he fits the mold. So
love it. Love your work, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, cheers for having me, mate. Keep it up, and hopefully we'll get another win next week. Would be nice.
I'll see you after the win next week. Lock that in.
Cool. Have a good one, mate. Cheers.
See ya. Rich.
Rash. Tez.
Rash, mate. all the way from Dubai.
We call it the sandpit here, mate. So good to be finally on your show. It's like always packed, and it's great therapy. And I've told you before, we've spoken before, you do a wonderful job. Kudos to you, man.
Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. It's good fun. It's good to have a packed room. It means people want to get around it, and it's this is your Van Cam's debut, I think.
It is. I've tried many times, but it's very hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
but
timing.
yeah, exactly. But I wanted to talk to you about our boy Murphy.
Yep.
He struggled, but hopefully we can push him over the line, and he'll get there. I'm pretty sure he will. And in general, I think the game was. I mean, it's the first time we've played in a while. Let's say maybe 3.5 quarters or 3 quarters. Let's say, but the mindset was there, and my background with the mindset and stuff. It looked like it was there today, so it was good.
Well, it's so funny because have they tapped into what have they tapped into today? Like, how do you bottle that? What is it? Like, how do you find it? What they're motivated by to do that tonight, and say, how do we do that for the rest of the year?
Look, I think there was our boy Riley put a really good comment on your page today. He said something in the vein of, when we don't have the pressure, we turn up. So look, it's a mix of things, and I think one is that we didn't have the pressure like last week, and they would have had a pretty scathing review. They would have been embarrassed about that last week.
Yeah.
So, and I've said throughout the week that sometimes teams have an off game, and I think last week was an off game, and the mindset's it's a complete different ball game. It can come up and it can come down, but the key is to try to get it consistent. So I don't think, I'm not sure if it's going to keep on continuing like that throughout the year, but it just shows that when they get it right, they can get it right. So, we've had a few games like that. The Footscray game, Bulldogs. That was good for about a half. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. So, we've got the, so
it's good to see.
Happy.
It's I mean, how much of a difference is it having 2 big lumbering pillars in that forward line?
Oh, it's massive. It's another target and the freeze up Harry, and it's great. It was even that Curnow. I mean, he didn't get much of it, but I mean, just his presence there, it's great. I mean, Harry's game was fabulous today. I mean, and the other thing I want to say is Wiedering. I was after the first quarter, I was like, oh no, he's going to have another one of those. Which he doesn't have many. And then he turned it around. He said, it's quality. He's a quality guy, quality player. So we've got to get more. I don't know. I'm not happy with Jack Nunes, to be honest, and I'm sure that there's probably other people that are, watching that will probably agree. I mean, last week he did well. This week, no. That would be my change, and I think always is out of form. So I mean, immediately those 2 would be the changes for next week. But it's good, there's some progression, and it's good. And when we win, we like to win. But I'm not sure we're going to drink the Kool-Aid this time.
No,
you've been pumping up the Kool-Aid for a long time.
I'm on the waters, mate. No Kool-Aid. I'm not going to get sucked in. I'm not doing it.
No. But it's good. It's good to win, and I wish we had a really won by 10 goals. To be honest, that was my only disappointment. But a win is a win. We'll take it. And God, we were lucky to kick pretty straight today. Also, I'm very happy to be on your fan cam, Terry.
Mate,
seriously,
you should come on every week.
I will. I'd love to. I would love to.
It's good to have you on. I'll send you the link beforehand, before the game, and you can get in early. I'm not sure if you're going to be patient to wait 2 hours, but we'll get you in nice and early. And mate, it's good to chat to you. I'm gonna move on to the next, but go the Baggers.
Go the Baggers. Thanks, Terry.
See you, mate. Alrighty, Daniel.
Hey, how you going, Tez?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Right?
Firstly, it was freaking sick win. Obviously, I can't remember the last time we played like that full 4 quarters. I mean, probably pushing back. Maybe, like Bulldogs game, maybe even last year, where we've actually given a 4-quarter performance. But overall was pretty good.
100%. I think someone came on before and said St Kilda looked like what we looked like last week.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We literally did.
I'd say the difference between last week and this week for us was probably structure-wise. I think the most important thing that I think you can probably see it from the screen even was that everyone held their position. Everyone knew where to play, everyone knew where to be at the right moment. Having Charlie back and obviously Josh Honey in the forward line. I think having obviously that one tall extra gave us another matchup we can, pretty much match up on everyone else, and that way we were able to see how the smalls and the talls work together well. Whereas I think in the past you'd have those fringe players, those hybrid forwards, Jack Silvani, Jack Martin, they weren't sure to play tall or to play short. They kind of got caught in between, and that's where I think we found transition football getting caught in between defense and offense. But I think this week it was good. Those players I just mentioned, Jack Silvani, Jack Martin, I think they even helped out, the wingman Lockie O'Brien and that type of stuff, getting the ball in forward to the big targets and then letting the Crummers do the work. So I think that worked out well, and that obviously they pretty much freed up the whole ground because it freed up the midfielders to do their thing, and they played freely. And then from that backman, Williamson taking intercept marks and Wiedering coming off his man, and it worked all well, around well.
No, it did. What did you make of before you watched the game tonight? What was your opinion of Charlie playing? Were you in the camp of saying get him out there and see what he can do, or were you saying nah, he shouldn't play?
No, I think for me, I was definitely against it. I think mainly from a point of they speak about integrity and selection integrity, and I think you got someone who's played 20 odd games in the VFL, in Josh Honey, who's been screaming for a shot to play, and then you got Charlie who comes in off the back of maybe not even full VFL games, 2 of them, and there's been rumours of him being rusty, and he comes in, and then but after today's performance, I can definitely see why he was added in the squad. I mean, even after the game, you saw Cripper saying, how much Charlie has an influence on the boys, and even Teague. I think that's the most emotion we've seen from him all year, to be honest. When the camera panned to him and Charlie kicked that goal, it was crazy to see, how much he actually affects the club, and I can definitely see why it helped, and like I said, it just helped the structure all around, pretty much around the ground.
Yeah, no, well said, mate. Thanks so much for joining.
Cheers, been watching for you, but even last year as well. So it was finally good to come on and have a talk, especially after a good win. It's been, I think, the season coming that I feel like especially this week after the club coming out with the constitution and all the media. I think the club's starting to realise, and things are starting to actually turn for the better, and they're starting to look inwards and realise that we do need a change. And it started, I think, if it trickled down to the players this week. So it was good to get the win, and hopefully we can continue. Not just these next 3 games, but into next year.
100%, mate. Finals footy 2022. We've got to get there.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see it.
All right, brother.
Right. Cheers, Tez.
Aiden.
Oh, Terry, mate.
What's happening?
Yeah, look, it's pretty solid performance, I reckon. Could have been, there were bits and pieces where it was a little bit choppy, could have improved, but on the whole, I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I think to get out by 50 against St Kilda, they're not a bad team. They've had some bad performances, but they played finals last year, and I think most of us tipped St Kilda, or most people in the community tipped St Kilda, and especially at Marvel, where they've given us trouble for many years, and to put them in a position where we're up 50, it was interesting to see what the group are capable of when they actually focus on the basics, right?
Yeah, I think that's where we've just got to, especially in that last quarter, for that last 10 minutes, we've just got to make sure that they don't get those 2 or 3 at the end. Just because when it comes down to it, if we want to be playing finals in the coming years, then we've got to be getting the percentage up in the hundreds, not in the low 90s, high 80s.
Yeah, no, fair enough. What got us there though? What got us up by 50? What did you see? What worked?
I think actually playing without a ruckman was good, because I feel like Marshall was all over us in the ruck, but then Silvani was pretty good around the ground. I think that just made a pretty big difference. Yeah, for sure. That's an interesting one. Is that something you think we could maybe sacrifice in the future? We don't need 2 ruckmen, for example. We can maybe go in with one ruckman and Jack filling in. I think if TDK is healthy, he comes in, no brainer.
Yeah.
But I think it depends who we come up against.
Yeah.
Especially if it's one of the top tier ruckmen, like last week, Goldstein, he did a number on us around the contest. That lack of height.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Well said, mate. Well said. It's have you been on a fan camps before? I think you've been once.
Nah, I haven't.
No?
Nah, first time.
Oh, there's a lot of debutants tonight, mate. It's good to have you on. You enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. I'm sure you're going to watch the replay, and we'll chat some more.
Easy peasy. Have a good one, big
All
fella.
right. See you, mate. All right, I've got a couple more. I've got Mark. I've got Vince. I've got a Hawthorn jersey in the waiting room, and I'm just scared to put him in. I don't know what kind of vibe we've got going on here, mate. I don't know what you're doing in there, but we might chat to you later. Mark.
Can you hear me? For real.
I can hear you, Mark. What do you got for me, son?
Third time lucky, Terry, I tell you, mate. That is what you call persistence at its team, man. I mean, you've had more debutants in this show tonight than what Carlton's had this entire year. How ironic is that? And I had to say it, man, because bloody Palm, and you had Rash from Dubai, Adam again from Arizona, and Jack from Malta. Everyone's already taken all my points, man. I already came prepped up. I mean, I was literally waiting at the very start. And here we are 2 hours later, which we're finally here. But tonight, summed it up in 2 words. And I'm not going to say it. This guy's going to say it. Just hold up 1 second, mate. 1 second. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ruthless, aggressive. Come on!
Oh, let him know, mate. You're right, Mark. You're right. 52 tackles in the first half. We needed them to come out with the spirit.
That was the beginning of the ruthless aggression era. Hence, that wrestler, John Cena, has won the same amount of titles as what Carlton's won premierships. And we only hope to that day when he has his 17th record, we have our 17th flag in the same year. Wouldn't that be something? But now, let's talk about the game. We're here to talk about the game. So,
yes,
it's taken us 20 rounds to finally play as one. Wouldn't you agree? And everybody else that's been on the show tonight, you know, everyone's had their individual, you know, shout outs and whatnot, but we're all talking about the team. The team, you know, if it was Honey 2 goals and, you know, 4 to 5 score involvements in particular, 3-4 tackles. Tom Williamson, when does he bloody kick 2 goals? And I mean, Sam Walsh even kicked 3, which was his career best as well. And when he's hitting the scoreboard, that makes him more deadly. I mean, what I will say with Sam Walsh in particular, if maybe he could start turning into the Dusties, the Bontempellis, the Dangerfields, the Fives, for example, because those guys on a week-to-week, year-to-year basis kick your multiple goals a game. And you know what? There is a possibility that one day he could kick a 4 or 5, if not 6. Because, I mean, even Michael Voss in his day in the Brisbane Lions glory days, midfielders like that, they just do it on a weekly, yearly basis. But yeah, I just wanted to say for Joseph Adamo, and you could shout this out to the Almost Blues brothers, because I still haven't forgotten, despite I've probably waiting since all night. He said, when was the last time we won 11 games? Pretty simple. 2013, we're obviously Essendon. We got a lifeline. There was us, Adelaide, West Coast, Brisbane and North Melbourne, all vying for the 8, and they're all on 10 wins. So really, it was more like a rewarding mediocre of who would get 8th. Funny enough, we took that chance, and we ended up obviously going through the second week of the finals, and it would have been pretty funny if we had gone all the way that year to take advantage of that rule. But anyways, 11 wins in 2013, hence the last time we played finals. And obviously the first time under Mark Lajudice, obviously he's finally gone past the 8 wins. It felt like the 8th win was like climbing Mount Everest, for God's sakes, or someone trying to have a Cuban cigar thinking, thank God for that. But anyways, look, let's not get all hoodwinked. I mean, I just wanted to say before, I think you probably have Vince coming on soon. I happened to listen to his 3AW radio interview with Tom Elliott. Very, 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 very good. What more can I say? I mean, I can give you plenty of intellectual words if I wanted to, but I think that's what we need for the club to know, that we can't just think it's all sunshines, lollipops and rainbows. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to understand the fact that we as paid up members do have the right to obviously have a say to who we want inside the club. I mean, at the end of the day, all we want is results. I couldn't care if, look, there's a lot of questions about people saying, could we get Alistair Clarkson and obviously Ross Lyon? But then at the same time, we still don't forgive Clarko for what he did to Fev and everything else. I mean, it's still going to be the talking point till to this day. But you think of Coach Carter, yeah? He demands so much. And if you have to get brutal into that business, you got to do what it takes to win. Mind you, this is going to be an outside the box, but I think I've probably mentioned this quite a fair bit on the pages, but I'm a fan of Brad Scott because what he did with that North Melbourne team for a good, 9 years or so, a decade, he got that side into 2 preliminary finals and they didn't even make the top 4 from the home and away season. So imagine if he had, we've got a talented enough team. It's just more of trying to really buy in of what they're capable of. So that's the outside of the box thinking there where, he knows what it takes to obviously win a premiership that he did at the Brisbane Lions days. It was a hard nut, played across half back. So, and he's even, I think, had plenty of experience as an assistant coach through at Collingwood and even through, trying to think of another club as well, but before he got to North. But anyways,
let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to tonight. Let's bring it back, mate. I want to know your unsung hero before I let you go.
Well, Charlie Curnow's 60-meter bomb, just have a few Cuban cigars with that, Terry. I mean, that was moist, mate, moist. I mean, I don't want to go too MMA R-rated, but if I did, I know what I'd be saying. But all I just got to say with that is it was just beautiful. It was just a fine work of art, really. It was almost like, your good old Leonardo da Vinci type performance. But no, look, as I said, all team round performance. It was good to see everybody just doing their bit. I can go on all night, really, but
you've summarised it.
But at the same time, I just wanted to say also quickly, when was the last time that, as a side, we were able to kick 18-4, let alone that accurate? We're even like 14-2, 14-1, actually.
First time in our club's history. It's the most accurate we've ever been in our club's history. So there's
18-4. 18-4, you're looking at about, 90%? I mean, 22 scoring shots to 21, but Jack Silvani, if anything, I believe that bloke has played in every position as possible. A forward, as a defender, in the midfield, in the ruck. He's even played as a tagger. Now, whether you've heard this aloud or not, but I've even said it to my best mate, Alex. Shout out to him and a few of the other boys and girls. Yep. He is the ultimate man that could be the sacrifice to basically being a underrated X factor that you can just sign him up to put him anywhere at any time on the ground. And at the same time, would have loved to have won the last quarter because we haven't won all 4 quarters in one game this year. And this was an opportunity we were looking for. Ready?
Correct. Mark.
Blood!
Very nice, my friend. It's time to go. I've got to move on.
Bring on Gold Coast next week. Got to back it up, boys. Have to back it up. See you next week.
Yes, we do. Well done, brother. All right. Campbell, I don't know what you got going on here, mate, but you got like 60 seconds.
Terry. Just wait. So, I've heard that Alistair Clarkson, he's going to the Blues, mate.
Okay.
And that is why, here to announce, I'm going to the Blues, mate.
You coming over to the Blue Broadside, are you?
I'm coming to the Blues. I'm coming to the Blues. It's over.
I'm not going to lie. When I saw you in the waiting room, I'm like, here we go. Someone's here to get his dick out or something. I don't know what's going to go on.
No, I told you no funny business, Terry. We don't muck around here.
No, we don't. So you are a Hawk moving to the Blues, or you're a Blue Bagger with a with the Hawthorn family? What's the situation?
I've been a Hawk fan for 35 years, and now time to get on board.
Time to get on board, mate. Well, welcome to the Blue side. It's great to have you here, and I look forward to seeing more of you.
Sweet as, Terry.
See you, mate. Oh dear. All right, I got one more. A man who's been. I don't know how you're still up, Vince. It's been a big day. Let's get you on, mate. How you going?
Oh, dear, mate. That is a very hard act to follow.
It's 1 a.m. I'm thinking,
Oh,
what am I going to
goodness.
be getting at 12:50 a.m.? But anyway, he was good.
This day feels like it's never going to end for me.
Well, why don't we run through, mate? You're in the Herald
It's been
Sun today.
It's been a huge day. Yes. Well, first of all, can we just talk about the game? I just want to say it's amazing how you can have the worst performance you've had for the year and then back it up with the best performance for the year. Because I think really, and you can look, if you're going to have Teague's gift, which is that sort of 4 to 5 goal, run that we give the opposition every week, you might as well give it to them in the last 15 minutes of the game when you're 8 goals ahead. Yeah, for 3.5 quarters, I thought we were outstanding, and take my hat off to them. I don't know why they can be so bad one week and so good the next, and vice versa. But I thought that was very, very impressive tonight.
Yeah.
And I think a few players make a difference. We've been calling upon the club to give some of the young players a run, and to see Josh Honey get a run tonight, I was very heartened by that. Tommy Williamson, great to see Lockie O'Brien back in the team and making the most of his opportunity. I'd say he's going to play next week for sure. And good to see Paddy Dow continuing some good form. Look, I think there's a lot of promise there. I think it was great to see the two tall key position forwards, Harry and Charlie, and that makes a big difference compared to that week when we had absolutely nobody. Last week in the forward line, and we had to put Cripps up there, and we had to put Kennedy up there, and that was the most unbalanced side I'd seen for a long time. So good to see some spine back into our team, and Charlie and Harry together. They look pretty awesome, actually.
They do. Well, it's so funny because for so many weeks this year, it looks like it's so hard for us to score. We do it the hard way. Where it's funny because we work so hard defensively, and in a roundabout way, it made the offense look a little easier for us when we went forward.
Yeah. Well, I just think we gelled beautifully tonight, and I think a couple of people have made some good points about tackling, and 80 tackles makes a big difference. We put them under pressure. When we play like that, we can beat anybody. I'm very confident we can beat anybody with the right approach, with the right coaching, with the right players in the right positions. So it's amazing how it can come together just as quickly as it can fall apart. So, yeah, take my hat off to them. I think there's a lot of good reasons to enjoy the win. Resist drinking the Kool-Aid for too long because they don't deserve to be given too much credit for too long.
It's just water, I promise you.
I mean, what has it been? How many weeks now? Probably 6 weeks of win, then lost, then win, then lost, then win, then loss. I think. Anyway,
what's we've got 3 left.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the pass mark was finals, but what do you want to see now for the next 3 weeks? What do you want to see?
I want to see more of what I saw tonight. I want to see more young players being given an opportunity. I think there's others there that could be thrown in as well. I mean, you've got Jack Carroll, you've got Corey Durden, you've got Brody Kemp, Sam Ramsey. There's another 4 names that you could give a go to for the rest of the year. I mean, look, we've still got a mathematical chance of making it. I think it'll be almost a miracle. Mate. No, look, I'm not. All I'm saying is it's a mathematical chance.
Correct.
Okay, it's a little bit like trying to cause an EGM. You've got a chance of causing one, but if the 5% rule gets up, good luck trying to get 4,000 signatures instead of 100.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But look, I think if we win these last 3 games, which is going to be a bit of an ask because you got Port Adelaide away, and you got GWS in the last game who are fighting for the same position on the ladder, half a game ahead of us at the moment with a game in hand. So, it's going to be a huge ask, and it'll be the best run we've had for a while too, because it means that we will have had to win 4 games in a row. And I can't remember the last time we've done that. So realistically, I can't see us making it, but I want to see players given an opportunity. I want to see them play with flair, and there was some really good structure about our team tonight. I thought that the coaches should be commended. They coached a lot better tonight, and David Teague has got every right to walk away with a smile on his face.
Yeah, no, well said.
I think
mate.
it'd be safe to say he's going to be the coach now till the end of the season, surely.
I would think
Whether
so.
we win, lose, or draw any of the last 3 games, I'd think he'd have to coach out the season now. It'd be pretty pointless to do anything, even if the board did decide that they wanted to replace him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, we're going to chat at length on Wednesday, so I look forward to that.
I didn't want to really touch on all the politics of today, to be honest. I just wanted to come on and say that I really enjoyed that win. I thought that credit where credit's due, the boys really put in, and I think it was their best performance for the year, even better than the 43-point win against, or was it 45-point win against Fremantle early in the year. I mean, this one felt like a more comprehensive victory that we really put some exciting football together for the first 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, spot on. Hopefully we can see more of it for longer in the next 3 weeks.
So we're getting together on Wednesday?
Wednesday, I'm down. We'll run it out and we'll do another layer. We'll unpack another layer of what's going on because it's important that people are informed about what's happening with their club.
Well, I think this is the message that I want to get through to Carlton members everywhere. Yes, it's important to watch the team. Yes, it's important to have wins like tonight. Yes, it's important to know what's going on with David Teague and whether he will or won't be the coach. Yes, it's important to speculate about whether we're going to get Clarkson or not get Clarkson. And yes, it's going to be important to look at what this external review outlines. However, put all of that aside, there is absolutely nothing more important right now, and this is the message that I would be appealing to everybody to get through to every other Carlton member that they know. There's been nothing more important in the last 157 years of history looking forward than this AGM coming up. Or not, it's not actually an AGM, it's actually a special general meeting that's been called for the 17th of August to get through a brand new constitution, which includes a lot of clauses that are going to make it very, very difficult to ever hold this board to account. Now, if you want yourself a football club that's going to be accountable and a board that's going to be accountable to its members, start taking notice of what's going on, because a lot of members have been asleep at the wheel on this, and I'm trying to shine a light on it so that they don't look back on it and say, geez, how did we let that happen? And how come the rules have all changed when it's all too late? Because once they're through, and once this constitution gets through, if it gets through, it's too late. It's done. And then to hold them to account after that becomes a monumental task. All right, we're talking about 4,000, up to 4,000 votes on the current membership numbers to get an EGM if you want to hold this board to account instead of 100. Believe me, that sounds like maybe a small number when you think about 80,000 members. You try getting 4,000 people to sign a piece of paper to disclose what their name is, their address, their membership number. A lot of people shy away from doing that sort of thing. So it's not as easy a task as what some people may make out. So I think the Carlton members have never proven themselves to be mischievous. They have never caused an EGM to be held for frivolous reasons. So there's absolutely no reason why the rules need to be changed. If we were seeing extraordinary general meetings being held every year or every second year for frivolous reasons over the last 20 years, then I'd say, fine, change the rules, make it a bit harder. But the members have never done that. So in my view, the only reason why they're trying to change the rules now is because they are anticipating a challenge. They are anticipating that sooner or later, the Carlton members are going to say, we've had enough of you. It's been failure after failure, year after year. We haven't made finals in 8 years. It's time for you people to be challenged, and they are trying to circumvent that challenge by changing the rules and making it exponentially harder to create an EGM. So I hope I haven't gone on too much there. I know it's a long-winded explanation, but what I'm really trying to get through to everybody is it is crucial to the future of our football club that you take notice, that you read that email that was sent on Monday by the president, go into the documents, read them right through from top to bottom, read the clauses. If you don't understand them, get someone who you know will understand them to explain them to you. We will do whatever we can, and I know you did a little video a couple of days ago on this that seeks to explain in layman's terms what these clauses are. It's a very deceptive way that I believe the board has gone about bringing on a brand new constitution. They have not been upfront. They have not been transparent. They have only promoted in the media all of the fluffy feel-good stuff like the Indigenous recognition and gender equality and all that sort of thing, but they have not for 1 second explained and outlined the other changes that are all in their favour in terms of controlling the board and controlling the club and further strengthening their stranglehold on the club. And these changes will only further will only further enhance their hold on power. So we need to be aware of what the changes are that they are proposing.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to see is that members should be able to say yes to this and yes to that and yes to another thing, but no to this one and no to that one. They tend to bracket everything in the one constitution and say it either gets passed as a whole or it doesn't. I believe that that's wrong.
Yeah. Let's talk more on Wednesday, so we don't. Let's leave tonight as tonight, and
absolutely.
We'll chat more on Wednesday, mate. But I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
No problems at all, Terry. And go Blues! What a great win we had tonight.
Absolutely, mate. Good on you.
Cheers.
All right. 1 a.m. Well done, guys. That was fun. 2 hours and 14 minutes. Good win, solid win. Good to see Charlie get through unscathed. Good to see everyone come on with a smile. That's what it's all about. As I said before, last chance to go in the draw to win this 150-year anniversary Guernsey. All you've got to do is purchase something from the store. If you're on YouTube, I've pinned it there. Before I go, Charlie sent me another message. I don't know. He said I had to play it. So for those of you who thought he shouldn't have played tonight. Anyway, I'm out of here. Go the Mighty Blues. I'll see you tomorrow for the review.